Hi everyone, Omar Kazarski, BauerWebSolutions.com's Creative Director, and in this video we're going to get a brief introduction to the administrative interface of a WordPress site, uh, which is also known as the dashboard. So from our previous video, this is a basic no-frills WordPress site, and we went over the basic terminology of the front end elements like the header and the navigation, sidebar, etc. And so now we're going to talk a little bit about the back end. And the current version of WordPress that we're using as of this video is version 3.6.1. So the first thing you need to do is log into the system. Now, depending upon how your WordPress site is designed, the login link might be within your sidebar, or it might be hidden, and you might need to type in that specific web address to get to the logins yourselves and perhaps bookmark it in your browser. But in this case, we have a login link here on the left-hand side of our WordPress site. So I'll click on that link. I will then log in. And this brings us to the dashboard of our WordPress site. So when you're logged in to your WordPress site, you'll know that because you'll see this dark gray bar across the top of your browser window. At any point in time, if you needed to change information about your login account, maybe like your name or the email address, you can go to the top right hand corner here. It's going to say howdy, whoever you logged in as. In this case, I logged in under the username admin. So it says howdy admin. So if I go to the top right hand corner and then choose edit my profile, I can change information about my profile, perhaps how the administrative screen looks from a color standpoint, and basic contact information. If I needed to log out, because I'm done with my updates, I would once again go to the top right hand corner and say log out. And it brings you back to the login screen. So I can either type in my credentials again or click on the link below to go back to the site just as a regular user or the public view. But I'm going to log in here again. All right. And at any point in time, if I wanted to visit the site and see what it looks like, still being logged in, I can go to the top left-hand corner underneath the name of the site here. A little drop-down appears as Visit Site. And then I can peruse the site as a regular user, but I'm still logged in as denoted by the dark gray bar up on top. So if I needed to get back to the dashboard, I go back to the top left-hand corner of that dark gray bar and I choose Dashboard. Okay, so just a few basic things about the dashboard. When you first enter the dashboard, you're at your home screen, and it's going to show you a variety of information. Now, when you log into your WordPress site, you might see more or less options than I see here. So I want to bring you to a very important point to start off with. In the top right-hand corner, as you can see here, I'll zoom in a little bit, there's a gray tab here that says Screen Options. So I'm going to click on that, and this will expand down. So when you're in each of these different sections of the dashboard, you'll always have the ability to click on that Screen Options tab in the top right-hand corner. And depending upon which one of these elements you have clicked on, you'll notice as I'm adding more of these elements, more of that corresponding information is now appearing on my home screen. So this is a personal preference. I try to keep it simple. There will be the need later on when we start talking about editing pages or posts where you might need to come back to the screen options to enable something you're not currently seeing. But I do want to mention this screen options thing once again. So if you're in a particular interface within the dashboard and you're pretty sure it's supposed to be there, but you don't quite see it, and you don't know why, I would first check that screen options tab to see if the thing you're looking for is actually enabled to be displayed. Okay, so just going down the left-hand side of this list here are the main categories of your dashboard. So within the dashboard category, you have your basic welcome or home screen, kind of tells you the statistics about your site. You also have an area here for updates. I will stress that You shouldn't just go ahead with gangbusters, and as soon as you see an alert saying, "Oh, there's an update," I would not recommend just blindly updating it. You really want to make sure your site is backed up. Um, you've taken all the necessary precautions before you update it. So while updates are a vital maintenance tasks that need to be done to sites to ensure security and compatibility, sometimes, even with the best laid plans, some things go awry and you might need to revert back to a previous version. So, if all of this kind of sounds unknown or a little bit scary to you, that's why we at Bauer Web Solutions encourage our customers to enroll in one of our support plans, so we'll take care of the backing up and facilitating the updates for your WordPress site for you. So, if you're interested in that, please give us a call or visit our website at bowerwebsolutions.com. All right, so, but that's just a little brief overview of that. Next, we have posts. So, uh, in this area here, allows you to create posts or time-related news articles. You can think of it that way. And posts um, can also allow for commenting. So, if you wanted to engage your readers in a conversation and you write an article about, the state of affairs of this year's tomato crop, and you want feedback from your audience, and it's like, I believe it's going to be a bumper crop this year. What do you think? Posts allow for that ability to add comments. So we have in our post areas everything necessary to create posts as well as categorize or tag them for better organization. Next, we have a media section, which basically allows you to upload from your computer onto your website for immediate or later use things such as images and PDFs that you can then place or insert into different posts or pages of your site. So within media, we have a library plus a mechanism to add more content. I will state one thing, that it is extremely important before you update or upload, rather, any pictures to your WordPress website that you optimize them. What do I mean by that? Well, if you take pictures from a digital camera and just immediately upload them, the digital camera is going to take files that are full of megapixel detail, which will result in larger files that are really necessary for the web. So if you just take those files with all of their high resolution data, upload them to the server as is, you're going to run out of server space very quickly. So we have a separate video that explains how to take your files and optimize them first before you upload them with this media section here within your WordPress site. All right. Um, going forward, we have a section here for links. Not many people use this feature, but what it is if you want to list a bunch of third-party websites as resources, you can add them to the links area here, and then depending upon how you have your WordPress site configured, they'll show up as a sidebar entry. Most people usually, if they want to add links, they're adding that link information directly into one of their posts or one of the pages within their WordPress site. But you do have this ability here. Okay. The next main category is pages. So the mechanics of creating a post are pretty much identical to that of creating a page. The only real difference is that pages cannot be categorized or tagged, and the basic rule of thumb is, if you kind of get confused, just think of pages as content that is really not going to change, and also that you're probably not asking a lot of feedback on. So if you had a page for directions for your office, you're probably not going to have a comment section in there for people to comment on. I mean, the directions are what they are. Whereas a post again can be categorized or tagged to be organized and easier to find. Plus, you would probably want to encourage people to comment on your posts or news articles to kind of get buzz about your site, which then in turn helps with social media, which then in turn helps with search engine optimization and just overall traffic uh, with your site. All right, but in this section here, this is where we deal with creating new pages. As I mentioned before, um, posts as well as pages, if you so choose to enable it, can both be allowed to have users comment on them. So as you have users commenting on particular aspects of your site, whether it be a post or a page, you can manage the comments that are collected in the comments section here. And the next section is the appearance section, and this is where we change the visual aspects of the site. And we'll talk more about appearance in later videos, but this is where you can change the outward appearance, the skin, or what they refer to in WordPress as a theme, as well as the sidebar elements, which I mentioned in a previous video. Those little containers of information within the sidebar are known as widgets. This is where you would change those as well within the appearance section, as well as navigation menus. So the theme, the sidebar widgets, the menus are all editable within certain degrees, all within the appearance section. We then have a plugin section. Plugins are additional modules that add more functionality to WordPress than the out-of-the-box base installation that WordPress offers. There are many free plugins, there are many paid plugins, and some are better than others, some are more compatible than others, but there is quite a wealth of possibilities out there. So when you're dealing with plugins, installing them, adding new ones, activating them, deactivating them, it's all done through the plugin section. WordPress also allows you to create multiple users to access your site, and in doing so, you can give each user a different access level. So for instance, maybe you want to give someone access to your site when they log in as a contributor, meaning that they can write article content, but they don't have the ability to post it unless another user with a higher authorization level looks at it and approves it, say like an editor. So an editor not only can write content as a contributor does, but an editor would have the ability to publish that information live or not. And then you would have additional user levels as well, like an administrator that can do all of the aforementioned tasks as well as more of the administrative things like update the software of the site, create new users, etc. All right, but all of that collectively is done within the user section. You have a tools section, and for the most part, it deals with things in regards to maintenance or importing information from a previous WordPress site or exporting out your information out of this WordPress site, for import into someplace else, as well as other features that would become available within the tools section. And then finally, within settings are just overall settings of how your site is configured and operates. All right, and we can get into the specific details of each of those sections in further videos. One last thing I just wanted to talk about in this brief introduction to the dashboard here is that you'll notice on the left hand side here in this vertical column here with all of the areas that we've been talking about here, they are all very easy to see because not only do they have a little icon next to them, but to the right of them is the actual name of the section of the dashboard here. But sometimes you might only see the little picture and not the words, and you're wondering what happened. Well, if we look here very carefully, in the bottom left-hand corner, you see kind of in light gray, there's a choice here that says collapse menu. Well, when I click on that, it makes that left-hand column less wide, so it's only showing you the little icons, which is great if you need to save on screen space, but if you're just getting used to it, you might forget what each of those little icons mean. So again, if that ever happens, either intentionally or accidentally, just click back on this little circle icon with the triangle in it. So I'll do right now. And that expands that back again. All right. So the last thing you'd want to do is when you're done, with whatever administrative tasks you're dealing with your WordPress site, whether it's editing content, adding pages or posts or deleting content, whatever, is log out. So I would go back here. Remember, once again, top right-hand corner and log out. And then if I wanted to just visit the site again, I could just click here on the bottom to that link back to the original site, and here's my site. All right, so hope this little overview of the administrative dashboard helps. In our next video, we're going to show you how to add a post to your WordPress site. All right, once again, my name is Omar, Creative Director of Bauer Web Solutions, www.bauerwebsolutions.com. Thanks for watching.